What's the difference between thought leadership and personal branding? Those two ideas get mixed together quite often. They're definitely related, but it's helpful to understand the difference. I see thought leadership as the end goal of personal branding. Now, here's what I mean. Imagine you're hiring an amazing branding agency. They create a beautiful logo, a beautiful website, you do professional photography, your messaging is clear, everything looks exactly the way that you hoped it would. Then you launch the website and nobody visits. The website isn't the problem, the branding is not the problem, it's not the messaging. The problem is that nobody is finding you. And I see this over and over again. People think that if they improve their website, they improve their business. Now, a better website does not create more business. People visiting your website creates more business. No visitors, no business. Now, to me, personal branding is incredibly important. I define it a little bit differently than most people, though. When I think about personal branding, I think about three pieces. The first is your thought leader image. How do you want people to see you? The second is your thought leader messaging. What do you want to be known for? The third is your thought leader positioning. Where are you actually positioned? When people search for help in your area of expertise, do they find you or do they find somebody else? Now, this third step, your positioning, is where thought leadership comes in. A lot of personal branding advice focuses on image and messaging. Those are important, but if people never discover you, your branding never gets a chance to do its job. Now, think about how most people solve that problem. They buy advertising. They're trying to direct traffic to their website. The challenge is that advertising interrupts and annoys people. Someone is watching a YouTube video or reading an article. Maybe they're scrolling on social media, and then suddenly your ad appears in front of them. Even if they're your dream client, you've now interrupted them, and their defenses immediately go up. They know that you're trying to sell something. You don't want someone in that frame of mind to then see your promotional material. So compare that to thought leadership. Your dream client has a question. They go to YouTube or Google or ChatGPT. They're searching for help. They don't know that you exist yet, but they find one of your videos, not because you interrupted them. They found you because you answered the exact question they were asking. And you don't start talking about yourself in this video. You don't introduce your company, your credentials. Your video doesn't sell them anything, but you simply answer the question. You help them. You leave them with real value. And they think, this is exactly what I needed. They've now just experienced your expertise. Then a few days later, they have another question and they search again, and there you are. Once again, you simply help them, you answer their question and give them real value, and at the end of the episode, you invite them to take the next step. Maybe it's to offer a free resource. So you might say, hey, now that you understand the answer to this question, I have a free resource that's going to help you implement it. Here's the link. If they want it, they become a lead, not because they were pressured, but because they already trust you. As they watch content like this, they begin connecting the dots. They think, every time I search this topic, I keep finding this same person. And every time I find them, they answer my questions. They've helped me several times now. I wonder what it would be like to actually work with them. That's very different from interrupting them and telling them they need to trust you. They aren't trusting your marketing, they're trusting their own experience. They've experienced your expertise firsthand. And by the time they decide to download your free resource or schedule a consult, it doesn't feel like they're responding to a sales pitch. It feels like the natural next step. They trusted you because they experienced your expertise. Only after they've built that relationship of trust do they visit your website. Now your branding has context. Now your messaging makes sense. Now they're actually interested in learning more about you, and that's a completely different experience. So this is why I see personal branding and thought leadership working so close together. Personal branding creates the image, thought leadership creates the reputation. Personal branding tells people how you want to be seen, thought leadership lets people experience your expertise for themselves. Personal branding can get attention where thought leadership really builds trust. If someone asks me, Nate, would you rather have the best personal brand in your industry or be the most trusted thought leader? Well, I would choose the second, thought leadership, every single time. If people trust you, you generate referral quality leads. even if your website isn't perfect. But the most beautiful website in the world is still a ghost town if nobody ever visits it. So that's why I don't think personal branding ends with the logo or colors or messaging. I think a complete personal branding will end with thought leadership. Your image is important, your messaging is important, but your positioning is what allows people to discover you and experience your expertise, and then it builds trust before they ever become a lead. That's the difference. If this episode makes sense to you, then the next question is, how do you actually become the person that people keep finding over and over again? That's what thought leadership really is. It's not just creating good content, it's positioning yourself so that when your dream clients search for help, they keep finding you. So in my next episode, why even Simon Sinek doesn't own his category, I'm going to show you something that completely changed the way that I think about thought leadership. I'll show you why one of the world's best known leadership experts doesn't actually dominate many of his categories and what that means for you. Once you understand this, you'll start seeing opportunities in your own industry that most people completely overlook. I'll see you in that episode.